Today I'm going to be rating this conditioning session that was posted by Princeton Wrestling. The team didn't publish the specifics of this workout, but I'll give you the best summary of what I can make out. Set 1, 800 meters all out. Set 2, 600 meters all out. Set 3, 400 meters all out. And set 4, my OCD leads me to guess that they did 200 meters all out. Firstly, let's make the strongest possible case we can for this kind of work. I looked at their schedule and this session fell on a week without a meet. Even with maximal work like this, it will probably only take them about 3 days to return to baseline. We can also safely assume that they're overloading the athletes and creating a strong stimulus for adaptation. If you want to throw up between reps, you are not undertraining. To steal a phrase from Steve Magness, there's also value to performing the occasional See Jesus session, where you really push athletes to their physical and mental limits. Now let's make the case against this conditioning session. They might not have impacted the next meet, but for sure they will have impacted the quality of the next wrestling session. In general, it's important to put the sport first above everything else and be freshest when you're trying to learn, refine, and execute sporting skills and tactics. It's even more important when you're in season because the time frame to correct the mistakes of the previous meet and prepare for the next meet is that much more condensed. Second, all training activities will or should give you some kind of benefit across 4 different dimensions. Technical, being the development of skill. Tactical, that being game planning. Physical, preparing the underlying physical qualities. And psychological, that's the ability to maintain high levels of performance under intense mental stress. We have to ask what the sum total development across all of those 4 areas is going to be. And the higher the total development, the more appropriate and worthwhile an activity is likely to be. Does running laps develop skill or game planning for wrestling? Absolutely not. Does it develop psychological qualities? Maybe. Does it develop the underlying physical qualities? Again, maybe, but physiologically, this session is all over the place. If we compare this running session to a hypothetical wrestling session where we perform things like situational rounds from tiring situations like riding, takedowns, and scrambling, am I developing skill? Absolutely. Am I developing game planning? You bet. Am I developing the underlying physical qualities? Yes, and probably even more so than running. Lastly, am I developing mental toughness? Yes, and more so than running, because mental toughness is highly context specific, and it's much more likely to be built through progressive exposure to the exact same environment that you want to be a master of, rather than generalized activity. In defense of the coaching staff, they openly admit that this workout is a once-in-a-while thing, but I think you can make a fairly strong case that this was not the most productive use of the limited training time that the athletes had in season. But take it with a pinch of salt. I'm incredibly mentally weak and I suck at wrestling, but I still rate the session an E.